As they climbed the stairs, Vanessa's heart beat slow and heavy, like a generator warming up. She then reached the door and knocked. Bum, bum, bum. 3 gentle knocks. "Room service," she said quietly. Then there was a pause, and soon the door opened. And you won't believe who she saw. It was her, Remy Ramota, Vanessa's company rival. The woman that has been going eye to eye with Vanessa on and off social media was the person that was sleeping and conniving with her husband. She stood there, tall, brown-skinned, her robe tied carelessly like she owned the world and forgot to cover it. Her eyelashes blinking like roofing sheets. As soon as she opened the door, she froze. Vanessa was honestly shocked on seeing her. She didn't expect her husband to stoop so low as to cheat on her with her own rival. Ramota tried to shut the door quickly on Vanessa, but it was too late. Vanessa stepped in, maintaining her steeze and calm like it was her own apartment. Wale, her lawyer, followed, with his camera hanging on his neck like a wedding photographer that was waiting to be served small chops. And just like that, the room held the kind of silence and fire that could cook egusi soup. Tosin was on the bed, just lying there in his underwear. As he looked up and saw his wife, he froze like a YouTube video streaming without data. Vanessa, please wait. It's really not what you think. Wale, sharp guy, without saying a word, began to capture the moment with speed. Chakam, chakam, chakam. He took 3 crisp pictures with ease, getting all the important angles he needed. Vanessa didn't cry nor shout though. She just reached for her purse, zipped it calmly, turned around and walked out. Wale then followed quietly, still holding the camera like a grenade. She stepped outside, paused for a moment, taking some deep air. Of all the people Tosin could cheat with, it was Ramota. Ramota? That's just wickedness. Wale said nothing. He simply opened the car door for her to enter and gently closed it after her. It was a silent drive. Nobody said anything on their way. Vanessa didn't go home that night. She just couldn't. She stayed in the hotel room she had originally booked, sat on the edge of the bed, like someone who just finished watching her life in 3D. She couldn't bring herself to shed a tear. Her eyes were just dry, but her chest was soaked in questions. How did they get here? Why did Tosin try to bury her and all she had worked for with Ramota? Why? She had married Tosin because of a promise her father made and because their families thought they would make a good scene. You know, like jollof and dodo. But here she was, burned, fried, and served betrayal on a guest house mattress. By morning, she had finished her decisions already. She called Wale, "Send me the papers." Wale didn't even ask which ones. He just said, "Okay, they are already in draft. When and where should I bring them?" They arranged and met up. By 2 p.m. that day, Vanessa came home and met Tosin in the living room, scratching his head like someone whose guilt was looking for where to hide. He was shocked to see Vanessa in the house and didn't know how to act. "Hey babe," he said, trying to strike a conversation. "You're back already?" Vanessa didn't answer. She signaled Tosin to sit down and she began to ask him some questions, just to try and understand why he did the things he did. "Answer me one thing, Tosin. Did you plan with Ramota Remy to set a trap for kidnappers to take me on that day at Sango Roundabout?" Vanessa, I can explain," Tosin stuttered. "Answer me," Vanessa yelled, trying to hold back her anger. Yes, okay? Yes, we did. And I regret it now, baby. I'm so sorry. It was Ramota. She came up with the plan to kidnap you and force you into signing those documents. I didn't agree to it though, I swear. She used juju on me. Wow. Ramota used juju on you, eh? Well, thank you for being truthful. What Tosin didn't know was that Vanessa got that confession on tape. She was recording the whole thing. But she didn't let him know then. She just carried on. Next, she dropped a brown envelope on the table like it was suya. What's this? He asked with a tinge of fear. It's divorce papers, Tosin. I am done, she said calmly. What? The what? Vanessa, wait. What are you trying to say? She then opened her phone, clicked on the pictures Wale had taken in the hotel room, and turned the screen to him. There it was. Him, on that guest house bed, looking like Yam that forgot to wear clothes. And beside him was Ramota in her robe, with her mouth half open, trying to explain what she wasn't asked. On seeing this, he opened his eyes and mouth in shock. He tried to speak, but nothing came out. Sign those papers, Vanessa said slowly, or this photo becomes your next CV. And believe me, I will send it to everyone you know and drag you on social media like generator. He tried to grab the phone forcefully, but she pulled it back quickly. See, Tosin, touch me again and I will show you what they mean by hell hath no fury. He stood there, shaking his head. It was a mistake. I was going through things, baby. Please. She raised one brow. Oh yeah? So you entered another woman's robe to solve your problems? Make it make sense, Tosin. Vanessa, please, sign it. He looked at the papers, saw that there was nothing for him. No house, no car, and definitely no office shares. He only gets to keep just his clothes and his shame. But I worked in the company too now, he said defensively. You worked me, Tosin, not the company. Tosin slumped onto the couch like bad akara. This is wickedness. Vanessa leaned in and smiled sweetly. No, dear, this is justice. Wickedness is what you have been showing me all this while. And then she gave him a week to move out, and she left. By the time she walked out, she had the divorce papers signed, the evil confession well recorded. Her plan was to bury those that planned to bury her, aura for aura. The day Vanessa stepped back into the office, the air felt different. Not the kind of difference that comes with new air freshener. This one was inside her, like she had dropped a heavy bag somewhere, and her soul was learning how to stand straight and breathe again. Her heels clacked softly as she walked past the reception, greeting her staff with small nods and soft smiles. She was back, feeling whole and free. When she got to her office, she didn't sit immediately. She stood by the window, the same one she had once stared through when everything was falling apart. But now, her heart was calm. It's not like she has healed yet, but she was definitely breathing better, knowing that she had everything she needs to bring down the monsters that toyed with her. As she sat in her office, a soft knock came at the door. Come in, she said gently. It was Tega. She was carrying a tray in her hand with her usual coffee. Vanessa smiled, and for the first time in weeks, it wasn't the kind of smile you wear like a jacket. This one was from somewhere real. Tega, she said. Ma, Tega bowed slightly, placing the cup of coffee on the table gently. Vanessa immediately walked across the table and grabbed Tega, pulling her into a tight hug. Tega froze. Then slowly her arms wrapped around her madam, gently, like she already saw this moment in a dream. When they pulled apart, Vanessa's eyes were wet. You saved my life, Tega. I would have signed those documents. I would have fallen straight into that trap if not for you. Tega smiled softly and said, I was only sent to warn you, ma. I didn't even know it was your husband. I just saw it like a flash. Vanessa shook her head and said, wow. And you still knelt down and pleaded with me, even when I didn't believe you. Sometimes the help you need comes from people you don't expect. But God, He doesn't forget His own. He never does, Tega said. Vanessa sat down slowly, still watching her. Who are you really, Tega? Tega smiled again and said, just someone with a divine gift who prays and also listens attentively. Vanessa kept quiet for a while, observing and thinking back to everything that had happened. Ma, if I may, Tega said, please carry on, Tega. God is saying that if you can come closer to Him, you would hear Him loud and clear. He will direct your steps and heal you completely. Vanessa nodded slowly. I will. I will. And she meant it. She leaned back, stared at the ceiling and whispered, thank you, Lord, for strange angels and second chances. That night, she knelt down beside her bed, placed her phone down and whispered, God, I know I haven't been drawing close to you as much as I should. I got so busy and let a lot of things take my time and energy. I thought I was strong, but look where that got me. Please help me, heal me, lead me. The words weren't plenty, but she said every word with her whole heart. In the days that followed, her staff noticed something had changed. Madam started coming in early, sometimes with a soft gospel tune playing from her phone. She didn't snap at them like before. She prayed before every meeting, then she fasted quietly on Thursdays. Not like she told anyone, but Tega always knew, and she brought her water instead of coffee. And Vanessa felt her heart getting lighter and lighter with each passing day. Days turned into weeks, and they say karma doesn't wear heels. But on the day he visited Tosin and Ramota, he came wearing Remy Ramota's expensive red bottom heels. He started in trinklets. Vanessa was the kind of person that believed in justice, and to her, it was time to serve it, piping hot. She called Wale to her office to discuss the recorded tape and how best to take it up. Meet me at my office, Wale, Vanessa said across the phone. When Wale arrived, they sat together and played the tape. Oh my God, Vanessa, this is more than betrayal. This is a criminal conspiracy. We are definitely suing these two. And trust me, they are not getting away that easily. Vanessa smiled slowly. Perfect. That is good news. Wale filed the suit. And of course, the court accepted it faster than pepper hits open wounds. Within days, both Tosin and Ramota were summoned to court. Ramota, as expected, completely denied everything at first. But the moment the recording was played in court, plus the pictures to back up their affair, her mouth did tup-tup, like someone licking bitter leaf. Tosin tried to talk, but the judge said, young man, you're not talking your way out of this one. By the time judgment landed, it landed like thunder on dry zinc. Both of them got a short-term sentence for attempted fraud and conspiracy. 1 year plus 6 months on probation. When they got out, nothing stayed the same. Ramota came out and discovered that all her clients had withdrawn their contracts with her company. The recorded tape and pictures were all over social media. And Nobody wanted to work with an evil-minded soul like hers, who, by the way, was now an ex-convict as well. Her PR manager tried to cover it up, do some damage control. But the internet streets never forget. Within weeks, her company crumbled like chin-chin, soaked inside water. As for Tosin, that one was homeless. He had nowhere to go. He had no job, no house, and definitely no money. He went to visit Ramota, to try and stay with her, but he got the shock of his life. Tosin, I'm busy. He was taken aback for a bit. Busy? Ah, Ramota, open the door now. I need to settle in. It's me. I said I was busy, she repeated. Her tone was now very sharp and definite. Ramota, what's all this? After everything we've been through? Come on, I lost my marriage and everything just because of you. The least you can do is give me somewhere to lay my head until I figure out my way. Hey, Ramota laughed mockingly and stepped out in her silk robe. And then she dropped her voice like poison. Tosin, please, don't make me laugh. I'm still trying to recover from losing my company. Did you say I made you lose your marriage? Points of correction. Your greed and laziness made you lose your marriage. You wanted a life where you didn't have to work for one day, so you were willing to take down your wife so you can take over. You lazy ass, ugly, incompetent man. You couldn't even handle a simple plan. You made everything fall apart. You're here telling me rubbish. Listen, if you couldn't even handle a simple plan. You made everything fall apart. You're here telling me rubbish. Listen, if you don't get out of here right this minute, I will set the dogs loose on you. Rather. Ramota backed, hissing with anger. Tosin was dumbfounded. He just picked up what was remaining of his shame and turned to leave. Ramota then went inside and slammed the door so hard the ground shook. And just like that, Tosin saw himself dancing on ground zero. He didn't know what to do. He went severally to beg Vanessa to let him stay at the boys' quarters, but Vanessa threatened to send him back to the prison if he stepped foot in her compound again. By nightfall, Tosin was sitting on a bench near Dugbe roundabout, holding his phone like it was all the treasure he had. His shirt was rumpled and his pride was missing. His bank app was showing 9455, like that of a radio station. And that's when it hit him. This was square one. Karma didn't just slap Tosin, it slow-cooked him to perfection. Now, while Vanessa was sleeping like a blessed baby, Tosin was out here looking like a rejected movie extra in the story he tried to write. 1 full year passed. 12 solid months of healing. Vanessa went to therapy, she went back to journaling, went back to praying long into the night. And all these things made her feel lighter. The pain didn't leave overnight. No, it left in pieces, one day after another. And through it all, Wale was there. He never pushed, he never pried. He was just there, like a constant, a quiet rhythm in the background. He sent books here, dropped coffee there, sent healing videos here and there, Vanessa began to notice these little things. She noticed the way he never interrupted her when she was rambling, the way he respected her boundaries, the way he said, "Let me pray about it," before making any major move. It was these little things that made her smile again. Then one Saturday afternoon, as Harmattan breeze was playing with her window curtain, Wale texted, "Hello, can we have dinner? No pressure, just to unwind and have a good time." She smiled and replied, "As long as the food is nice." That evening, they met at a small rooftop restaurant in Ibadan. No paparazzi, just grilled food, soft music, and genuine conversation. Vanessa didn't feel the need to perform or to not be authentic. She had known Wale all her business and career years, and they were good friends. This particular incident, though, has brought them closer. You seem lighter these days, he said, watching her eat. Yes, I feel lighter, she replied. The weight dropped when I stopped begging people to love me properly. They talked about many things that night, and they truly connected on another level. In the weeks that followed, they began seeing more of each other, sometimes over amala or jollof rice, sometimes over files and documents. And soon, they started dating. And after 6 months, Wale walked up to her and said, Vanessa, you've taught me strength, but I would love to spend the rest of my life reminding you how soft you are allowed to be. I won't pressure you. Just take your time and pray about it. Vanessa was happy he proposed, but she didn't answer that day. She went home and prayed. She said, Lord, if this is from you, confirm it. I'm tired of guessing. This time, I want your peace to be louder than my fears. That night, her heart was calm, unusually calm. No anxiety, no overthinking, and she had a conviction in her heart that Wale was the right person for her. So, the next morning, she called him and said a loud yes. 6 months after, they got married. It was a simple ceremony, nothing loud, just family, some true friends, and good food. And when Wale whispered, "You are safe with me," right before their first dance, she believed him with her whole soul. 2 months after the wedding, Vanessa found out she was pregnant with twins, a boy and a girl. God didn't just restore her joy, he gave her double for her trouble. As for Tega, she resigned from Vanessa's company and said that her job there was done and that she was being called somewhere else for another assignment. The end. Okay, Naya Padis, we have officially come to the end of this story. I want to appreciate all my MVP Padis that watched till the end. In fact, I'm sending all of you a virtual hug. If this story resonated with you, please share it with someone you know and let them be blessed as well. So, as usual, kindly drop your thoughts down below. What do you think about this story? What did you learn from this story? Or just drop anything. Even if it's to ask me how I am, I just love to read from you. Anyway, here are my moral lessons. For me, this story teaches that God doesn't shout from heaven when he wants to speak to us. That happened in the Old Testament. Now, he whispers, sometimes through people we least expect. It might be a cleaner, a stranger, or even a secretary. Vanessa could have easily ignored Tega, but she listened, and that obedience saved her from disgrace and death. God still speaks. Sometimes it's a nudge in your heart, a warning from a friend, or a dream you can't shake off. So stay close to him, stay sensitive, because when God sends help, it won't always look powerful, but it will always be purposeful. And one small act of listening could save your whole life. So, until I bring another story your way, my paddies, stay blessed. Ngwanu. Bye.